We are live. Thank goodness. So sorry, guys, that you had to wait
Hey,
some
everyone.
time. Wonderful thing about computers, like when you go to reboot, because your camera and microphone die, is like it takes the longest time to restart and get everything together because you're in a hurry. So yeah, sorry about that, gang. But yeah, we're here. We are now ready to talk about Origins Game Fair, only our favorite con. Um, Super excited. We've been waiting for we've been plotting and planning for this what about 5-6 months now.
But yeah,
Yeah,
When
every
did the
bit of it.
last one end?
Yeah, exactly. We've been plotting pretty much since then. Yeah, right. Usually, yeah, by the time one ends, we're already thinking of what we're going to be running for the next one,
Yeah.
and this one's no different. Absolutely. We got some of our GMs that's going to be with us. We got Raz with us, got Mundalus, and a new GM coming with us this year. Rick, he's a long time player, and this is the first time I've seen you actually run games.
No, actually, this is like I skipped last year, but I ran
Yeah.
2 years before that.
Okay, all right, excellent.
It just kind of slipped in there on you.
Yeah, I know. I was so happy to see.
It's
you
the
run
pandemic;
some
it causes you to forget things.
It's what it is. It's exactly what it is. But yeah, super excited. And it's really kind of fortuitous that we got started today because if you look on the event page, all of our events are now in the actual B pod room. They started sliding them over today instead of in the A role playing black hole that they have been. everybody and their mom's been asking me, "What's A role playing and why are we in it?" And I'm like, it's like the limbo. It's like their limbo that they can put all the games in so we can have them all on schedule time.
It's a
And then they're going to
mustering
sort it
area.
out. Exactly, it's the mustering area. But yeah, so now if you look on the schedule, you'll see all the games are moved to meeting room B 232 through 235.
Okay.
Which
We're on the second floor again. Okay.
Second floor B pod, back where Road Cthulhu used to be, their old place, almost dead across from the exhibit hall. If you're coming up the escalator in the exhibit hall, turn left and you'll be running right into us.
Yep.
Go home.
If you're coming out of the elevator, turn right and you'll be run right into us. We're so excited to be in the B pod. We almost got that whole side. I'm looking for us to get big enough to take the whole side. There's a couple rooms still on the end, and I'm like, love you, but get out so I can control the lighting in this whole side. Because you can't control, it doesn't do it like room by room. It goes down that whole side. So.
Well,
Right.
if you do your idea about having some of the other club members run Cthulhu or horror-related games,
Yeah,
you could have a room just for the board games.
exactly. Do a board game room.
Yeah.
Do a LARP room. Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, we've had some more ask about doing some LARPs and stuff like that. I'm, definitely excited to put that on the table for next year. But yeah, let's go around the table and talk about games that we're running. Raz, what do you got? What do you got coming up for us?
So I'm running 2 different games several times. First one's going to be Conan fleeing the fangs of Set. You start out basically in a torture chamber. You and your team getting the smoke kicked out of you for the last 3 or 4 days. You're hungry, exhausted, and you get an opportunity from a fair maiden of Stygia, which probably there aren't any unless they're like 9. But anyway, you get a fair maiden who comes up to you and says, "Listen, I got somebody I need you to kill, but I can get you out of the chains. But you got to go up or down, and down is easier, but up is really out. But we don't know what down is. But so there's all this just choices. But it's going to start off right away with everybody that was in your caravan is just screaming in the background. A lot of bad situations going on. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. A lot of carnage. Be total Conan. And then the other one I'm running is Die Comise Cathedral, which is the unholy cathedral for Achtung Cthulhu. And that's going to be that's a bigger cluster. So if the torture chamber is probably your better path, because that one's going to be a hot mess when you start. That's going to be fun.
I kind of figured maybe with that Conan one, you just start them on the wheel have them pushing the wheel, start making that trench, like Conan did in the movie. Just put them all on the wheel, have them turning the wheel. I think that would be awesome. I think that's where you should start.
Well, you can go out. You could get that statue of Arnold Schwarzenegger that's right outside the front doors.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, the bronze one.
That's Schwarzenegger there.
We'll go grab that and bring it in.
Just slide it in.
You'll never notice.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. Octone Cthulhu is really my first time I'm running it at a convention because it is a newer system, the 2D20 version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like 2D20 with Conan. I thought the Octone is even a little more streamlined.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Now those are two really great Modiphius games. I'm running a couple of different Modiphius games myself. We're really glad to have Modiphius as one of our patrons at the games. They take great care of us. We got some really cool prizes, table prizes from them. One I'm going to have to set aside as a drawing because it's just two choice. Oh my God, it's beautiful. and actually two. There's two that I'm going to have a drawing for. They're just really, really nice. One of them.
So he sends me the message the minute he gets this in and goes, "Brother, look what I got." And I'm going, "What's wrong with you, bro?" I mean, this is so
one of them
wrong.
is the Tricorder Star Trek.
Oh, nice.
That's the slipcase version, but yeah, it's the travel. It's basically the travel version with the digest version of all the rules,
That's
the
really
dice, everything, and it comes with like the strap and everything, so you can carry it just like a Tricorder. How wicked is that, right?
That is wicked.
Neat concept.
It is. Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh. He's like,
Does
yeah.
it come with a red shirt?
No, but it comes with like the green, what they call the Kirk green tunic dice. You know how he had that green tunic with like the wraparound little belt kind of thing that he had?
His Schmexy shirt, yeah.
His Schmexy shirt, exactly. And so it has that. So I'm excited for that. But now, when Greg told me he was putting that in one of the boxes for us to give away, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need another one for me. That'd be great. I'm gonna give that away. I'm gonna give this one away. That's great. But I'm gonna need another one of those for me. He's like, and Greg, great as he is, said absolutely, and took care of me on that one. And it was like my one. I was like, oh I don't want that.
I was getting ready to give you a hard time for all of these cool perks you get just because you're the guy in charge. But then I remembered all the hard work you do behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
So you deserve
it. I earned it.
You did. You really did.
Thank you. Rick, you're running one game, but like 4 times, and it does look like an exciting game. Go ahead and talk about it for us, man.
Basically, it starts off in North Dakota at their largest lake called Devil's Lake. It's near a small town, which normal size for North Dakota of about 10,000, 12,000 people.
Okay.
But you are counselors in the camp, basically where you've been going for several years yourself before you graduated. You went to high school, graduated, and you're now all of the PCs are University of North Dakota students. And they're just coming to help out for the summer. And there'll be lots of fun and hilarious things going on.
Cool. So is this kind of like a kids camp, but they're counselors?
Yeah, they're the counselors.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And this is called Cthulhu, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just imagine Friday the 13th.
I mean,
meatballs.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was excited about when you sent it in, because like my last game of the con is Camp Dread, and it's kind of like exactly like that, but on the flip side, it's using the Dark Places and Demogorgon rules, but you're the kids.
Right.
Everybody in my game is playing like the punk high school kids.
Yeah. And you're all young 20-year-olds, and I mean, you can be Camp Sleepaway, whichever.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I had planned it on mine. I was like, I want like Meatballs meets Monster Squad. That's kind of what I wanted. That's what I was aiming for. And I've run it several times here at, I think I started running it at PAX Unplugged last year and in a Gary Con, and everybody just goes off the rails with it. They just do just trope it up and have a blast. I hope they do the same thing with yours. Absolutely. Melinda, you're running a lot. You're running probably the most different kinds of games next to me and maybe James.
I'm crazy.
I know. I'm the only one I know that does that. That runs. I've got 8 events. I could run 8 different games.
Although
You know?
I ran like 36 hours and 5 or 6 different scenarios.
Yeah.
It was all the same system, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am running 3 different Call of Cthulhu scenarios because I'm
Psychotic. I mean, sorry.
I'm going to do, the Lightless Beacon for fun.
So much fun.
So there's 2 little mini sessions of that. To help out, I'm going to do a pickup game Saturday morning. I still don't know what I'm going to run. I may bring 2 or 3 scenarios and the characters and let the players pick. So it'll be a blast from the past. And then I am lucky enough that I'm one of the tournament first round GMs. I'm
Yes.
kind of tickled, so it must be crazy.
Yes.
And then I'm running it's 3 different scenarios. I'm running each of them twice. I'm going to be doing Alien because I have fallen in love with
So much fun.
tearing people apart with xenomorphs. This one's Party in Paradise.
Yeah.
Where the players are going to be a group of space marines. I should have grabbed my book. I got my book in the mail while I was gone, and I'm super excited. And you're trying to protect some CEO's spoiled little girl.
Oh, she dies first. She dies.
Should be a cakewalk, right? Really? I am going to bust out the Dune quick start rules and run a fun looking scenario called Desert Fall. I read Dune in high school, so we won't go into how long ago that was, although I did earlier tell Raz how long it had been since I was at Rehoboth Beach. But I'm looking forward to it. I have rewatched the movie just to get my head in the... I didn't rewatch. I watched the Denis Villeneuve movie, which I really recommend. It was
very good.
It could be half an hour shorter, in my opinion. But yeah, it was. I'm really looking forward to part 2. Part 2 was good. It should be good.
You all right? You all right over there, Raz? You having a heart attack?
A half an hour at least.
45 minutes longer? Yeah, I'm okay. Half hour short.
No.
Yeah. I think if they cut out like a half hour of the slow walking Zendaya and put a little bit more of Dr. Yui in, then we'd have had a just perfect movie.
I'm not a fan of this trend of 3-hour superhero or fantasy movies. It's tight. It could have been edited down. It really could have, and I think it could have been a stronger movie. But I still thought it was solid. And my eldest and their partner watched with us. They're not into sci-fi. They didn't know anything about Dune, and they both really enjoyed it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So hopefully they remember that when I ask them to help me test play this.
I love Desert Fall. Yeah, Desert Fall is so much fun. It's a great introductory adventure, and you can find out really quick in there in about maybe the first half hour who are Dune readers and who are Dune watchers, because the NPCs ask the group something, and based on their answer, you're like, oh, you read the book.
Oh wow, really?
Like I said, I haven't read the book in
I'll tell you about it after.
40 years.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it after, but it's
and I'm not going to read it before I make it to Origins.
Yeah,
maybe Gen Con, but not Origins.
Oh, Origins, yeah.
Finally, I am going to run Cult.
That's the game. That's like the one game I'm like, I dig you, but I don't know if I'm ready for you.
I understand, and I'm trying to find a scenario that I thought I could run in public at a convention with people I didn't know was a challenge. So I'm writing one.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Agatha Christie, it's for you.
Oh, good. It's interesting.
Yeah. What's the name of it again?
And Then There Were None.
Okay.
The Agatha Christie story. Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
One of my favorites of hers. Also, Rowan my eldest, will be running some Cult. I can't remember what else she's running. I think just
Uh,
Cult and
She's running Call of Cthulhu.
at
So,
Origins.
yeah. She'll be
Um,
running some Viking Death Squad at Gen Con, which I'm
Yes.
excited for her to do.
I am too.
Yeah. No, Cult, it's like, yeah, like I love everything about it, but I'm like, you're too dark for me. I'm not ready for you yet. I feel like if I come and run in and get that and play that game and start getting into it, it's kind of like the first time I started reading H.P. Lovecraft. It's like, I need a therapy session because this was bad.
The more I read, and there is no index in the rule
No.
book, by the way.
I think
At
they
least
did that on purpose.
not a really useful index,
Yeah.
but it's a really visceral, kind of cerebral body horror.
Yeah.
At least a lot of it is. And I'm going to have some of that, I think, in my scenario, but mine, I do a lot of psychological, let's build the dread and the suspense. And that's something Rowan and I have been talking about. And their take was, it's really effective for that as well. It's just, I think the body horror is a little easier to tap into if you're not used to doing horror or building horror.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I grew up in the 80s and slasher movies have nothing on me. So I don't like slasher movies. So maybe that's why I don't like I'm going more for cerebral or psychological.
Yeah, more. Yeah, it seemed more like the Pinhead. What's the movies I'm thinking of?
Hellraiser.
Thank you. I never watched any of those either. Like I saw like one. I'm like, okay, that's enough.
I read Cult, the rules, and I started my vision where it went. The way I write my games, I was going more to Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Okay, where it's you don't have to go like the Scandinavian role playing horror is insane. Like they go, over the top. But you could do like that kind of if you're a listener and you're interested in finding out what Melinda's doing or something. Cult you can go in multiple ways with Cult. It's horror.
Yeah.
But I always thought of more like the creature with the eyes in front of its head, and it's as you're eating at a table, it's starting to crawl towards you. It has it's a lot of that. Yeah, if you think of that kind of, that's what I was getting out of the game as I was
definitely otherworldly.
Yeah,
fantastical horror. Yeah,
yeah, Guillermo del Toro, but
yeah.
And to an extent, I want to say it's a profane horror. So if you are a truly religious person, you might be put. I don't know that you would be put off by my scenario because I don't draw on that an awful lot. But the game system, the mythos and everything, you probably are going to be put off by it unless you can suspend that some.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Unless you can separate the two, you're going to be. You would be offended by Cult. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
When a writer was writing about Lovecraft and made the statement that basically Lovecraft was created as Cthulhu mythos so you could have horror stories for atheists.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not all the devil. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no religion. Yeah. It's all these aliens out there, and whatever you do as a human doesn't matter.
Yep. Yeah. That was my favorite part about Lovecraft when I started. Of course, I started playing the game before I started reading Lovecraft, and then I started reading Lovecraft.
Yeah.
I'm like, so like, no matter what you do, it doesn't matter. And they're like, nope.
We're all divine, but we've forgotten it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
We've been kind of imprisoned in, I think, kind of Matrix in a way, I guess. This isn't reality, but this is what we think is our reality.
Well, it's kind of like when Lovecraft was actually having other writers like Clark Aston Smith and Robert E. Howard. He didn't care if they followed his strict guidelines. There was no guidelines for the mythos. Because in one, like Cthulhu is this ancient elder being, but another one, he's the high priest to the ancient elder beings, which, still more than we are. But the point of it is there is no canon in a sense. So it's like Neil Gaiman wrote his story with Hesher and Cthulhu sounding like they're a bunch of teenage kids, getting mad at each other.
Yeah.
Which is great because then you're talking about the perception of that certain reality, that person's perception.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah. But this conversation.
Lovecraft himself said there is no mythos.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not consistent from book to book with these because
Yeah.
I have no mythology, which
But-
probably buys into the I'm writing for atheists.
Yeah.
But when you look at Howard writing in the Cthulhian, borrowing and working with Lovecraft through these letters and these, essays they wrote with each other and stuff, they always say, Lovecraft always said, there is no end. I mean, there's no win. You're going to all go. It's all going to go downhill. You can't beat it. And Howard's like, well, who the hell wants to read that? My guy with the sword can beat it as long as he has, belief in steel. Otherwise it's not a story of heroes. And there was this big argument. That was where they always seemed to, displace each other. So being a Conan fan, I love all the cosmic horror shit that happens, but at least let the guy win once in a while. That's
there was a round robin story written where back in Lovecraft and Howard's day, where Lovecraft was the first author, where this human gets drawn into this alien being on another planet. 4 or 5 other authors wrote stories or wrote part of the story. So it got to Robert E. Howard, who was writing the final part, where it basically says, well, being a human, using his ancient barbarian strength that he has, he picks up a stone cylinder and smashes the head of the king and takes the throne.
Basil Palladorus, baby, just kicked on.
Love Conan.
Oh yeah, exactly. So great. All right, so we do have a lot of Call of Cthulhu games. I think about 80 of our 140 something games are Call of Cthulhu games. So we do have a lot of Call of Cthulhu. A lot of people, like on the origin sites and stuff, are asking, like, where's Chaosium games? Where's the Call of Cthulhu? I'm like, we got them all, baby. So if you want to come play a Call of Cthulhu game, you definitely want to play one of ours. And you touched on this a little bit, Linda, and I want to go in more depth on it. Of course, the tournament. We are having a fantastic tournament, and if you don't have a ticket yet, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out on an incredible experience. We got about 4 seats left. So we got 18 total players. We're going to have 18 players vying to be the Cthulhu Master. And we got 3 different GMs. Melinda's one, Gail's another, and James is the other. Got the folder of the story. Excellent. Yep. I actually asked Ava Studios because I loved this story so much. It was a story called Grendel, Kentucky, and it's very grindhouse with a lot of a mythos element into it. And I read it and I was like, this is amazing. And the heroes of the comic it's like a four-part comic turned into a little graphic novel. The heroes are biker girl gang in the 70s in Eastern Kentucky. And I'm like, that's amazing. so everybody plays, kick-ass biker chick. and they just mix it up with some stuff that is not supposed to be. We're going to have 18 players. Then those 3 GMs will whittle it down to a very finely edged 6 players that I'll take on Saturday, and we'll play the climax of the game. It's actually kind of a 2-part climax. The climax of the GMs do, and then we're going to go down and then back up again to the final game, and then we will determine our Cthulhu master of the game. Also, we have 2 actual ways to win the tournament, I guess, so to speak, because I've got 2 fantastic trophies to give out. One will be for the master of the game, the one who just flat out outplayed us. I think I already know who it's going to be, but I'm not going to say it. some of the people who've been messaging about games it's going to be this person, isn't it? I'm like, that person's really good. But not to knock anybody else out. I want everyone to play it up. But we've got the master of the game. One who just flat out played the GMs, or just thought of stuff that we didn't think to get this thing going. And then we're going to have the most creative, the one who comes up with the most creative ideas, probably has the most fantastic death scene, something like that. And it's just really in there to play it up, So we'll have two big trophies on that. We got tons of other prizes along with that. Awa Studios sent us some stuff. I've got some great stuff from Chaosium stuff I'm throwing there as well. Some handmade custom things that I've made just for the tournament. So excited for it. One of them I made, I'll kind of show you guys. Everyone is going to have a notebook that has the harlots. This is basically like the patch that the biker chicks would have on their jackets or what have you. And it's like the harlots, and in Hickory Hills, Pennsylvania, that's where the biking club, the motorcycle club's from. And then like the actual harlot, each of these are hand painted by me. So we got like 18 of these. So hope you enjoy that custom piece that I made. Everyone gets one of those, plus a bunch of other stuff that we will be giving away, including the trophies. And then as well, we're going to have a drawing for a free pass for next year's Origins. I mean, can't hardly beat that, guys. I mean, yeah, it's going to be an incredible event. I know it takes up two slots, and you might not get in that second slot, but we're going to have some people doing pickup games, stuff like it anyway. So even if you don't get into that second game, there will be games around for you to play and be able to jump in and stuff. So,
hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Actually, the way you've been talking about the game, I think anybody who actually plays in it would be a winner, even if they don't walk away with the 2 trophies.
Exactly. If you don't even walk away with 2 trophies, we got all the prizes, and then just the event itself, just being in there.
That's what I'm talking about.
And playing amongst, experienced Cthulhu people, non-experienced Cthulhu people that just love to go in there and play an awesome tabletop game. This is what I created it for. I wanted everybody to just, not so much worry about, I don't want people coming up and ask me, so what's the point system breakdown like? What's, I don't worry about it. Don't ask me, what the rules are. Go in there and play the game. And the best player is going to win. So that's just the way it's going to be. That's my rule. Play.
And it's our so
yeah, it's vote by the GMs and stuff like that.
Whoever gets in on this, you're helping make Lurking Fears history. It's our first tournament.
It's our first tournament. Super excited for it.
It's very late at night. It's very late at night.
It's very late at night. It's almost 8. Oh my gosh.
It ends later than that. It starts at 8. But do it. I'm sure you guys are gonna have a lot of fun.
It starts at 7, and Brad's like,
I have that slot right here open, so I can either watch or run a pickup game. Although I start at 9 that morning, so we'll see.
I asked Raz, I was like, so why don't you have your ticket? He's like, I'm going to be eating, and then that band's going to be looking really good by that time. So I'm like, disappointed. But anyway.
I'm thinking about, you know what, you nearly got me there. I'm so excited by just what you said about it. Like Rick said, everyone's a winner who gets in it. So
exactly.
It sounds a lot.
You're really going to be playing against some of the best. I know most of these people that are in the game.
Right.
And I'm like, man, this is going to,
it's going to be good.
It's going to be a fantastic game just on the players alone. Of course, I've handpicked my best GMs to run these, among my best GMs that I knew that would be down to do this tournament. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we've got almost all of our games are sold out. So we're really excited about that. One that I was surprised, and I know it's completely my fault because I described it for crap, was I did a horrible job of describing it. And it's an indie game. It's one of the bloat games. And I just did a bad job of describing it. So I'm like, well, of course they don't, nobody knows what this game is going to be about. But it's going to be a really cool game. It's called Survive This Fantasy, The Bounty. Survive This Fantasy is the name of the book that this is from. It's a bloat game. It's very OSR D&D kind of a game, which I don't think I have in the description. So if you're used to like Redbox D&D or anything like that, you'll be able to jump right into this game without no trouble, even though it is, technically an indie game. I do have some really cool different demi-humans in this game. You can play like an Arc Wall, which is kind of like a half wolf, half human not really a lycanthrope. It's just all half wolf, half human all the time. That's one of my favorite characters in here. But yeah, basically, it's called the Bounty. Crime Lord is sent in to hunt down a devil-may-care group of thieves that have made off with his prized possession. So yeah, you get to play a game of cat and mouse across a trackless desert, trying to get this group of thieves and stop them what they've stolen and get it back to basically the crime lord has hired you for the job. But yeah, the difference is who's really being hunted. Are you hunting them, or is something else hunting you? So again, this is using the Survive This Fantasy rules. It's a rules-light OSR themed game. I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's one of the few games that hasn't got a lot of people in it. So if you're looking for a game and don't know about a good game to jump into, that is definitely one of them. That is Wednesday at 7, and it is one of the. It's kind of like the soft open of Origins. A lot of people don't show up till like Thursday when the exhibit hall opens and stuff. But yeah, if you're looking for a good game, Wednesday at 7, come in, jump in. We'll love to have you. Barbaric, it's one of James' games. I know also does not have a lot of players in it. It's one of his Saturday games, I believe it is. Saturday at 9 a.m. It is also a very OSR style game. But yeah, it's a wizard tower that's a classic fantasy trope and makes for an iconic first game session. So it's fitting into the sample adventure as a reimagining of a dungeon beneath a wizard's tower. He's taking it from the one of the articles that first appeared in the 1977 edition of Original Fantasy. So it's a very simple, fantasy type game. He has several tickets open still for that. That is Saturday at 9.
Matt, you're saying OSR. What's OSR?
OSR is basically what they call the old school revival.
Okay, just for people that may not know.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for those that don't know, old school revival. Basically, it's a harkening back to again the original red box D&D kind of games where it's very simple but also very brutal. You can die easy if you make some bad choices.
Kind of like Call of Cthulhu.
Kind of like Call of Cthulhu. Yeah. But it's very, it's very, sword and shield. Go beat up the bad guys and try to survive. Exactly. But yeah, super fun game. Dave Matting's like, which half is wolf? The upper half or the lower half? The arc wall, the upper half. It does walk on two legs. Yeah, it does. It does have two legs. The
left half.
Yeah, the left half. You're like Two-Face.
Just the left.
Middle.
What a big nose you have. Oh shit.
That is just all kinds of messed up. But yeah, I'm super excited to see that most of our games are sold out. Again, we still have a few seats left in the tournament. Highly recommend for you to jump in on that tournament if you've got the time. It's going to be super great. Our guest, I'm so thrilled to have our guest. I mean, of course, we got Raz with us. Raz he's okay, but Raz.
Does it ever end? No.
Cthulhu and Cairo. Yeah, he does a great job with Cthulhu and Cairo. Go listen to his podcast.
Oh, there you go.
Super good. It is super good. Yeah, it is super good. Until they split the party. But then you're shaking your phone, going, why?
As long as Faye doesn't go off by herself.
Right. Exactly. You're like, why, Faye? No, Faye. No. But other than that, yeah, it's super fun, guys. But no, I ran into Dan Masters, aka Professor Dungeon Master, last year at PAX Unplugged, and I was like, hey, you ever thought about coming to Origins? He's like, yeah, I thought about coming to Origins a lot. I ran into him at Gen Con and then at PAX. I was like, well, why don't you come on to Origins with us? You can be one of our, be our special guest. I can talk. I know a lot of the great people at Origins. We can make this happen. He's like, this is very cool. So yeah, he's coming. He's running 2 games that are already sold out. Professor Frankenstein, Professor Dungeon Master's Frankenstein. If you watch his channel at all, you should definitely watch his channel if you haven't. He's super great channel on YouTube. Very good description of different games. He is also an old OSR kind of fiend, and a grimdark horror fantasy like we are. Loves Call of Cthulhu and stuff like that. The Frankenstein game, I played in it last year at PAX Unplugged. Amazing game. Bring your acting chops because it's an amazing game. You're gonna role play ROLE play. You're not gonna role play with the dice.
Awesome.
It is. I mean, one of the players that sat across from me, he had this incredible German accent because Frankenstein. And he was pleading with one of the NPCs with this amazing German accent. Now, I mean, when he got done with this whole scene, I got up and I'm like, I was like, oh, that was good. And but yeah, and that's the kind of play that Professor Dungeon Master evokes from you at the table. He's a very expressive GM. You can definitely see where he teaches some theatrical kids one way or the other. Somehow I remember him talking about that in some of his shows when you can see it when he runs the game. He is pulling it right out of you. Super fun guy. He is also hosting 2 really cool seminars. One of them is Friday at 2 p.m. It's going to be basically making your hobby your career with Professor Dungeon Master. We've got a panel of us. It's going to be me, Professor DM, Eric Bloat from Bloat Games, and Monica from Geeks A Go-Go, our favorite fun size cosplayer, award-winning cosplayer. She will be there, and we're going to basically talk about how we took our love of gaming and games and stuff like that, and made a career out of it. All this, yeah.
Matt, yeah. I need to move I need to either cancel or move my Friday 2 p.m. session.
So you can jump in on that.
As I recall, I can't make either of the sessions he's doing.
And then, yeah, I mean, it's we've got plenty of seats available still for that. But yeah, definitely want to jump in on that. It's going to be about an hour. We'll all be talking about how we made our hobby our career. And then he will also be doing a Saturday at 2 p.m. seminar that Raz will be emceeing for me, and it's going to be just basically a Q&A of with Professor Dungeon Master. Just throw him the Q's, he'll give you the A's, and it's just going. We're going to have some fun there with his fans and be able to talk it up. And if there's anything that's been on your mind that you want to ask him about, definitely take your time. It's going to be about an hour. Starting at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Feel free to jump in on that, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about?
Well, people who may not know, Raz is actually a really good interviewer. So that Q&A,
he's okay. Don't make it.
He makes me look good. He's got to be good at what he does, right?
He did. He disrupted my whole Traveler game with that freaking skull. I had him. I had him in this Traveler game.
Unless you're Matt, he's really kind to you.
Yeah.
You.
Oh,
Thank you.
I was like, there's no way they're getting out of this. There's only one way they were going to get out of this. And they almost had it, but I was about to take 2 players, at least 2 players. And then you were like, oh, come in here and distracted me with the skull like on the screen. I'm like, what?
It's my mom.
That was amazing. Super good bit of distraction. It was amazing.
What's the sign of people enjoying a game is when they do things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The best moments are the impromptu moments. There always are.
Yeah.
They always are. Yeah. Exactly. Again, anybody else have anything to ask or questions or anything they want to talk about?
I'm afraid to stay much longer. You're beating the hell out of me. But thank you, Melinda. You're very sweet.
I got my countdown.
Nice. All right. Or days to go. Nice.
I got to get busy, so I'm ready for you guys. But we're going to have a good time.
Oh yeah.
We'll see if we can up my kill count.
Yeah, up your body count.
Not counting the tournament. Tournament's a whole different ballgame.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, dudes, but spoilers. But
No, I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm just gonna say it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. But now the Lightless Beacon, that's probably my favorite kill everyone game. Whenever everybody asks me about Lightless Beacon, I'm
maybe
like,
1 or 2.
People ask me about Lightless Beacon, I'm like, D6 investigators die. They're like, what? Oh yeah.
One day we should do a panel on the psychology of a Call of Cthulhu player on why they're willing to spend money, invest 4 hours of their really precious time for people like us, to slap the shit out of them, and then they're like, "Thank you." I didn't realize how many masochists there were in the world, but I mean, we know how many sadists there are. They're called Lurking Fear GMs, and there's about how many of us? There's quite a few of us now. But the rest of you, we appreciate you lining up. But it's this thank you, sir. May I have another attitude that kind of freaks me out sometimes.
Well, you know what I tell new players? I'm like, it's a convention. Okay, you've got luck. Use your luck.
Oh yeah,
it's a one shot.
It's a rental. It's a rental.
It's a rental body. Run it.
And there is a really good chance you're going to die or go crazy. So make sure you get a good story out of it.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of them have had really good stories out of it.
Yeah. And again, some of the, especially at cons too, though, the impromptu moments, the parts that you did not plan for make it great. It makes the GM, the game goes left, the party go left, the GM has to go left with them, and then you're like, oh my god, what do we do to get this back on the rails? You know what? Fuck the rails. Let's do this.
Convention gaming has made me a much better GM overall.
Yeah.
Because I think it was that first convention. I'm there. I'm so nervous, and I want to make a good impression. I want everybody to have a good time, and I want to be liked, and I want to be invited back, and all of this. And like my third session of the Search for the Rhine Guild.
Oh man, that's a good one. Yeah,
it is. I love that scenario. But there was no script. The direction they took it. Yeah. There was no hint in the script.
It had the bones of a good story, but
it was the first time I swore the entire convention. I looked down and I go,
yeah.
I didn't even say it, and they all started laughing because it was like 4 friends and an extra person.
Yeah,
and they knew they had broken it, and they were so tickled they broke the scenario.
Yeah.
So I asked them because they knew it was my first convention. They gave me 10 minutes. We took our 10-minute break and came back and finished it.
Yeah. Liz, who's a new GM, that's going to be with us. She's running one game only. PX Poker Night, super great game. I ran it for Rick. Probably, I think maybe the first time I was running games at Origins back in the old Roll Cthulhu days. It was like him and a few others. Yeah, way back when. But she's going to run PX Poker Night. Super great game. But yeah,
am I supposed to make a joke about you gotten a lot better since then? Or?
I hope I had improved. I mean, but we had fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Everybody had a fun time. But no, she broke my game at Gen Con last year. It was actually 2 games she broke. But she did. We still played it out, but she knew she broke it. I was like, you just thrown this completely aside. But yeah, the one on the airship, you know what I'm talking about, Aurora Dawn, broke it. Just flat broke it. Super fun game if you can filter it and get it condensed. But yeah, she flat out broke it. Then there was the Why Is That Rabbit Watching Me one, which can be a hard game to run because
that's a good scenario.
Yeah, there's child endangerment in it. And it might have been the Western one, but she did. So she broke it. But again, it's how you can recover from like, okay, none of this what I've had planned is going to go. So we're just going to do this. But yeah, still just playing it out, have fun, playing from the hip, shoot from the hip, like you say. You've got to have those kind of chops to be able to be successful.
It was a great lesson, and I'm glad I learned it like so early in to running for conventions.
Yeah.
Because it was really freeing too.
Oh yeah. But then when she broke the game, we were talking later and she's like, so you do this a lot? I'm like, oh yeah, we do it quite a bit. Why don't you come see what we're about. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to run PX Poker Night. So she's not running that at Origins, but she will be running that for us at Gen Con. Yeah, super excited for her to run that for us. It's a fun introductory adventure to Call of Cthulhu. It's kind of like, I want to say like Gilligan's Island meets like Call of Cthulhu Delta Green, because it's like you're just a bunch of like screw ups on this Air Force base. It's like the place they put you because they can't kick you out. This is like, you just go over here.
You're like a 3F, not a 4F yet.
Exactly.
You're almost on the 4, but yeah, you haven't hit it yet.
Exactly. He's like, we'll just wait here until you can't pass next promotion, and then we can kick you.
There actually are jobs like that in the military.
Oh yeah. One of my barracks duty. Anybody who's ever been on barracks duty, that's the dead end job. It's like, you better get your shit together that year, or not. That's the warning.
Matt, do you want to touch any on the overall prize table?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the prize table is going to be another amazing spread of games. We've got Modifius games. We've got Mongoose games. We've got, of course, Chaosium. Chaosium sent me like 6 boxes of games of different RPGs and games and stuff to run out there. Modifius has jumped in again with a lot of the Conan, and then Star Trek and stuff like that. Mongoose has brought in a lot of cool Traveler and 7th Sea stuff that's going to be there. Runehammer, thank goodness, Runehammer, because we're going to have some of the ICRPG, Viking Death Squad stuff. So we've got some of that stuff that's going to be out there for people to pick from. And the rule of the game is like at the end of every game, either the GM or the players pick who is the player of that specific game is at every game. And that person gets to go up to the prize table and pick one item. And, it could be a book that you've been wanting for eons, or it could just be something that looks cool that you want to try. Yeah. But I guarantee it's going to be something fun, because it's just huge, long table just overflowing with RPG goodness. So yeah, super grateful to all of our people that helped provide that.
Speaking of other GMs, I know one thing you always try to do is recruit new GMs.
Yes.
You want to say a word about that, or?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you are wanting to run games with us, if you talk to us, see us at the table, running some games with us, and you're like, hey, definitely want to come be a part of the party. Definitely reach out to me, one of the other GMs. They'll get you to me, and we can get you set up to run games at one of these cons. We get some really cool comp and some prizes as well from these games, and then also based on certain games that we run, the publishers pay us to run games. So we can discuss what your favorite game to run is, and get it going, get you happening with us with games like Origins, Gen Con, Gamehole Con. I'm looking to be at Gamehole Con around the corner here soon. Gary Con, all that fun stuff. So absolutely, if you want to come run some games with us, there's definitely that opportunity to do that.
And we have even more game systems that are going to be that are going to have sessions.
Oh yeah,
Origins than just the ones we even talked about here.
Oh yeah,
There are quite a few. Dungeon
Crawl Classics is going to be playing with us. I'll be running a 2-part Traveler game, Mysteries in Arcturus Station. It's some people know my deep and abiding love for Seth Krakowski. This was one of the reasons that I do have that love. It's because of this particular Traveler game. But yeah, it's a 2-parter, but you don't have to play in like both parts. What one people do in the first part does affect what happens in the second part, but you don't really have to be in both parts. It is fun if you are, but it's not necessary. Super fun game that he rewrote from a classic Traveler game went during the Little Black Book era. It was Murder in Arcturus Station, I believe, was the actual Little Black Book.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and he wrote like the prologue that the game kind of ended at rewrote the prologue, and then rewrote the actual meat of the first of the actual adventure. And it's so much fun. It's Clue set in Traveler. You can have this, this murder happen, and anybody could have done it. And the beauty of it is like the GM, when it's set up for the GM, it's like you get to pick who done it, because each one of them has the opportunity. You just really decide, okay, this one did it, and then you got to make the players go through all the hoops to find out how, which one actually did it. It's very much Murder on the Orient Express kind of stuff. It's like a lot of people really ticked off at this person that have the means. but yeah, so much fun to play that one. I'm running that before. Yeah, we got Traveling and Dungeon Crawl Classics, a lot of Cthulhu, Cult, a lot of bloat games. Again, Survive This, We Die Young. I had a lot of fun running We Die Love at cons lately. We Die Young is like his 90s answer to Dark Place and Demon Gorgons, which is another game of his that I love. And the Dark Place Demon Gorgons is he hit like when the iron was hot on the whole Stranger Things series when it came out, and came up with Dark Place and Demon Gorgons because that's basically what you are. Is you're a kid, around all the supernatural stuff that's happening. It can be serious or it can be very tongue in cheek. It's entirely how you want to play it. And then We Die Young is like his 90s version of that. Like, they've grown up a little bit. They're either out of high school or just getting out of high school, and it's the whole Seattle sound, the grunge thing, and like the supernatural elements that are out there are all gathering around the Seattle area, and everybody's trying to figure out why. So you can play that game. It's suggested to play that game as one of the supernatural characters. So it's very World of Darkness. The pre-gens that I have in that one is, of course, a vampire, a werewolf. I have a revenant, kind of like the Crow, Brendan Lee's the Crow, a revenant in it, a ghoul, flat out ghoul, a mummy. Of course, the more human-looking mummy, not but the one definitely more human-looking mummy. So lots of lot of fun characters for everybody to play. Ran it at GaryCon last year, and it was so much fun because I had ran like 3 games that day. I had ran the D&D tournament, their Masters D&D tournament, like that morning, and that was something because I was running for 10 players, and they're all experts at like first edition D&D. So that kept my wheels going. Then I ran like one of the Traveler games, and I was pooped. Coming into running the We Die Young game. And I told him, I was like, awesome. I'll be honest with you guys, I ain't got a lot of gas left in my tank, so I'm gonna need some audience participation to keep this game going. And man, did they step up? Man, it was so much fun. They again got into the tropes again of like all those supernatural creatures and really, really played it up. It was a couple of the players were like from Seattle, so I could, we could really get the feel of it because I was like, hey, give me the name of a strip club, and they're like, oh yeah, it's this one. I'm like, okay. So it was super fun. Really, really dug it. Absolutely, so much fun. So many great games that we're running for you guys at Origins. Just want you to come, enjoy, have a great time. Come find us at other cons like Gen Con, stuff like that. Anybody else has anything to add?
I have one more question. You said we have 140 games.
Over 140, close to 150.
How many game masters do you know off the top of your head?
I want to say 24. Almost 25. Yeah. If we include Tara, I think it's 24. But Tara does we have an exercise program built into our setup. Every morning, an hour before the game start. So it's like Thursday at 8 a.m., Friday at 8 a.m., Saturday at 8 a.m., and then Sunday at 9. Tara's going to do like a little like calisthenics, what we call morning mythos calisthenics, and it's just a little stretching, some basic mobility kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. You can do it from a chair, even if you're not too steady on your feet. But it is super helpful. I did it last year with us, and man, I felt so much better, running games through your day and being able to get around, doing all the walking that you do at a con. It loosened you up, limbered you up, got you ready to go. Yeah, we have that too.
Do you
Yeah, the
shag off
ancient ones-
arms?
Yeah, the ancient ones prefer the sacrifices to be limber and healthy.
Exactly. Kind of tenderize everything, get everything going.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
The thing that Matt, when you were saying, is anybody else have anything? The thing that I'd like to say to people, if they're not signed up for anything yet, or if they're just coming to Origins, they want to come up to the room and check things out. This is a deep talent pool. I'm very honored to be a part of the Lurking Fears GM team and group. I have my own stuff on the side with Bardic College, but it's always amazing to me to see and to meet some of these other players out there and GMs that are like Rick. Rick and I actually played in Traveler, and a lot of respect. If you don't have a chance to, if you're just playing at local stores, listen, those guys out there, there's a lot of really good GMs, a lot of talent. But these are people that have been doing it not just for a long period of time. We're not all just old bastards. These are people who are vetted. Matt's either played in their games or asks around about these people, finds out what their strengths are, and really builds the community so that, we even ask questions of each other. We'll bounce ideas sometimes. So please, join, come in and even if it's just to view us this time and come back next year, because we're going to have a lot more surprises for next year too. But it's something that you really have to see it to believe it. This club of gamers, this group that Matt's put together, there's some pretty special people, and you're not losing $4, or in a lot of cases this year, a lot of the stuff was free, but you're not losing any time by coming in here. You're gaining a lot of good memories. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And it reminded me, like I say, you talk about recruiting great talent. One game I did forget that I wanted to throw in here. Shield Maidens. This game is it's not even published yet. It's still in the works. Like, they're still doing the layout and stuff like that online. But Matt Sprang from Ridiculous is like, man, I'd really like to get some early buzz going in on this game. And I'm like, well, tell me about this game. And he's like, it's Shield Maidens. It's like a sci-fi futuristic Viking, warrior queen kind of stuff going on. And I'm like, oh man, this sounds amazing. I was like, I got the perfect GM for this. Gail Clendenin. She is just a kick-ass GM, and she is immediately the first person I thought of when he's like, we would like to have a female GM for this game because it is kind of like women centered. With Shield Maidens, they're like Valkyries basically,
right.
And we're like, okay, well, that's very cool. Gail is like the first one I thought of to jump in and run this game. That's like she can run a kick-ass game of this, and it is. It's just I've seen the rule books, I've seen the quick starts. It reminds me of like it has like a Blade Runner feel. There is like a very cool sci-fi tech kind of edge that the Shield Maidens get to utilize. Along with like the Norse mythology, does tie with the Norse mythology, along with and a lot of people will know when I'm talking about it because a lot of tabletop gamers are video gamers, but a lot of like Final Fantasy VII, because there is like a big tech enemy, kind of like Final Fantasy VII, was it Shinra? Corporation? Yeah, yep. Yeah. The bad guys in this one is called the Fenris Corp, and I'm like, oh, okay. so yeah, when Gail and I were first, we're beating hands together trying to figure out, what we could do, what kind of game we could run for this. I was like, let's just do a freaking raid. And she's like, what? Yeah, so just like Final Fantasy VII, the very, very beginning, it's like a raid on the Shinra Tower, right?
Yep.
And I was like, let's just do that. She goes, that's awesome. I said, yeah, just go in there and just let them just beat ass. And it is. It's very in your face. I'm gonna take everybody down kind of a game. Again, it's not even published yet. Probably won't even be on the shelves till next year. Very excited for people to have a very first look at that.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. If you're listening, this is what Matt can do. Matt knows systems and he knows his GMs enough where he can say, I want somebody on this. I was looking to do a couple of different things. Matt said, why don't you, do Modifius and try to do a Locked Cthulhu thing. It ties in with the other stuff. So yeah, he'll point you in directions. Of course, run what you want. Yeah, he'll help promote it, but if he's got there's projects that he's constantly thinking about where he can put people, and it gives these guys, these ladies and gentlemen out there a really good chance to showcase their skills, because each GM runs a little differently, but it also showcases these companies that Matt's affiliated with now, and I think that's a great thing. So hats off to you. I know that the plug you gave me was great.
It's all right.
But you do a lot of hard work, brother. And it's very appreciated.
You're in there just as much as I am. You're putting the grind in every week with the Cairo. I think this is like your first week off in what, months?
Yeah, months.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a lot of episodes of telling fake. No, don't. That's a lot of weeks of that. No, Faye. Don't do that, Faye. No, Faye. You know what? Fuck it, Faye. Let's do it.
A quick plug for Raz. If you have not listened to Cthulhu and Cairo, I don't like listening to live play.
Mm-mm.
This is like listening to an actual radio show with the occasional dice roll. It is so good.
Really good voice talent. Yeah.
My eldest and I were out of town for 2 weeks. We listened to hours of Cthulhu and Cairo on the drive down and hours on the way back.
Thank you.
And Rowan actually commented, this is better than theater. I think I bought her ice cream or something. I've got ice cream and this is better than a movie.
Exactly, right? It is.
Sounds like the old radio shows.
It does.
It's what we try to aim for. Yeah, we aim for that look, that sound.
It definitely. Everybody's got their accents and stuff. Yeah, it's very on point.
And you will be cursing Raz on occasion. I haven't yet, but except for a couple of the cliffhangers, which are just beautifully timed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, beautifully timed cliffhangers, just like the radio shows. Absolutely.
So, had to get that out there. I plugged something for Rick, but I don't know. Rick's a quiet guy. I don't know him quite.
Come play his games. If there's an open spot left, they're all sold out, but you never know.
Rick is a master tactician as a player. He's very on point. I have a feeling if you're at his table, he's going to challenge you and keep it online. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I suspect he's got quite a mischievous streak.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
For any players in the game, they should be expecting some fun twists.
Cool. I expect no less from you, Rick. Yeah, you keep me on my toes as a GM, and I expect you to do that same to the players in your game.
Yeah,
I definitely do that. Definitely, absolutely.
So
Melinda just runs a heck of a game. She puts her heart and soul into it. She definitely does. She puts her heart and soul into it and ready to go. So
a lot.
I mean, that's the reason why I picked you as one of my my GMs.
I'm just sorry, guys.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a blast again. If you haven't got a seat at the tournament yet, get a seat at the tournament. If there's a seat open in one of the other games, definitely take it. You're going to regret it if that slot's open and you didn't get it. Otherwise, come by and see us anyway. We're always running games at 9, 2, and 7, except on Wednesdays we run 2 and 7, and on Sundays we run at 10 o'clock. That's it. We go home. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9, 2, and 7. Show up. There may be people that didn't come that have already gotten a seat on the program, but didn't show up for one reason or another.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're new to conventions, if it says it's sold out, go check it out anyway.
Go check it out.
I've had friends running games that sold out. None of the tickets show up, but people showed up for it, and they were able to get in. So.
We got people that are just coming in and run what we call fill-in games, or just a game today, just want to run. It's not on schedule. Doesn't want to worry about it. It's like, hey, I just want to come in and run a game. So those will be going on. They aren't even on the schedule, and some of those games are just amazing. They're all amazing because they're my favorite GMs. So
people
absolutely.
show up, and I won't run with those two people. I need that third person. You could make the game go off.
Yep.
Yeah.
I already know of one case where I told one of my convention friends I'll bring an extra character. Because they couldn't get a ticket for one of the games. So
I had to do that for Gen Con because I had 4 friends that could not get in my traveler games, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to run an extra slot for you guys, just you guys. It's not going to be on the books. We're just going to run it. And they're like, oh, yeah. So
for Alien, I already know I'm going to have some extra characters anyway. So
jump in. Absolutely.
Come ask.
Absolutely. Yeah. If it looks like there's an open seat, ask if anybody's taking it. We usually wait, if all our players aren't there at the time, we usually give 5-10 minutes for people to show up, and then we start playing, and we start making elbows and throwing dice, and it gets crazy.
A lot of laughs.
A lot of
It'll be a
laughs.
fun time for all.
A lot of laughs. Absolutely. Yeah, come enjoy some really great role playing. Got a fantastic time, guys. Thank you guys for being on the show with me to talk up on what we're going to be doing at Origins. It's going to be an amazing time.
I'm
Thank
so
you guys.
excited.
I'm so
I
excited
got
too.
so much
Yeah,
to do.
it'll
I
be
have a
great.
to-do list.
All I got left is like basically print off all of the characters. But other than that, I'm pretty much ready to go. Yeah.
I'll be working right up till Tuesday.
Nice.
Love it.
But again, thank you guys for being with us. We're going
Thank
to
you.
end it now.
We'll see you at Origins, everybody.
See you at
Bye.
Origins.
See you at Origins.
Absolutely. See you guys at Origins.